I'll admit it, I've got a pretty good life. You've probably seen my face on billboards or in a few glossy magazines. I've modeled everything from designer clothes to watches that cost more than my rent. And trust me, that's saying something. I've walked down catwalks and grinned at the camera until my cheeks hurt. On paper, it's the dream. But here's the thing. No matter how many photo shoots I do, no matter how many strangers stop me on the street and say, "Hey, aren't you that guy from the commercial?" I feel like I'm just floating. I'm not making a difference. I'm not helping anyone. I mean, sure, I'm a decent guy. I donate a little here and there, support some charities. I always smile at kids when I'm out for a run. But deep down, I feel like I'm just one more pretty face in a world that's full of problems. I want to be someone who leaves a mark, who makes the world a better place. But how does a model do that? Sell more clothes? Convince people to buy things they don't need? Yeah, not exactly what I had in mind. That's when I met her. It was a Friday night in New York City, and I was at some high-end event, trying to look like I was having the time of my life when, really, I just wanted to be home watching Netflix in sweatpants. I was standing by the bar, nursing a drink, when I noticed her across the room. She wasn't like the usual crowd of socialites and models. She was wearing something simple, a plain black dress, her hair loosely tied back. And she had this look in her eyes like she was searching for something. Not the typical "I'm here for the party" vibe. She was different. I don't know what it was, but something drew me to her. Maybe it was the way she wasn't glancing at her phone every 2 seconds like everyone else. Or maybe it was the spark in her eyes. Either way, I couldn't take my eyes off her. I must have been staring because she caught my gaze and smiled. "Nice party, huh?" she said, stepping up to the bar beside me. "Yeah," I said, a little too quickly. "Great, if you're into that sort of thing." She raised an eyebrow. "So you're not into parties?" "Not really," I admitted. "I mean, I'm here because I was invited, but I guess I'm just not feeling it." She laughed, and I swear it was like the room suddenly became quieter, like it was just the two of us. "Same," she said. "I'm actually here for work. I write for an environmental magazine. I've got a piece on climate change coming out next month." I blinked. "Environmental magazine? That's cool. Really cool." I was still trying to wrap my head around the fact that someone like her, smart, passionate, and well, way out of my league, was standing right next to me. I could already feel my nerves kicking in, but I couldn't help it. I had to ask. "Wait," I said, "what exactly does someone who writes for an environmental magazine do? I mean, besides, writing?" She grinned, and I felt a little better. "Well, we're out there on the front lines, reporting on deforestation, pollution, wildlife preservation, all of it. We get to travel the world, see things firsthand, and tell people what's really going on." And that's when it hit me. The word travel hung in the air like a dream. I hadn't even thought about that in a while. What was I doing with my life? Photo shoots in Milan, parties in Paris. Sure, it was glamorous, but was it meaningful? Did it make a difference? "So you just go around the world making things better?" I asked before I could stop myself. I probably sounded a little too eager, but hey, I was curious. She laughed, and it made me feel better. "It's not that easy, but yeah, that's the goal. I mean, it's not all about writing. We try to raise awareness, do research, and actually make a tangible impact. It's hard work, but it's worth it." My heart skipped a beat. Hard work, making a real impact. That was exactly what I needed. "That sounds amazing," I said before I could think about it too much. "I wish I could do something like that. Actually make a difference." She tilted her head, considering me. "Well, why can't you?" I shrugged, trying to play it cool. "I'm a model. My job's to look good in photos, not exactly world-saving stuff." "You'd be surprised," she said with a smile. "Everyone has a role to play. I think you're selling yourself short." Her words hit me like a ton of bricks. Maybe she was right. Maybe I could do something more than just strut around in expensive clothes. Maybe I could use my platform, my influence, to make a change. And just like that, the whole night felt different. The noise faded away, the lights dimmed, and all I could think about was her, and the idea of doing something bigger than myself. The next few weeks were a whirlwind. After that night, I found myself thinking about her constantly. We kept in touch, exchanging messages and emails, and soon we were meeting up for coffee or grabbing dinner after her assignments. Her name was Emily, and she had this energy about her that made everything feel possible. It was like she was already living the life I dreamed of, and now she was showing me how to get there. One night, we were sitting in a small cafe in Brooklyn, and she was telling me about a trip she had planned to Indonesia for a project on sustainable palm oil production. I listened, intrigued. The idea of traveling to places like that, seeing firsthand the impact of our choices on the world, it was inspiring. I was thinking, I said, almost without thinking, what if I came with you? To help. I mean, I could use my platform to raise awareness. Emily paused, surprised. You want to come with me? Yeah, I said, suddenly feeling more sure of myself. I have been thinking a lot about what you said. I don't want to just be a face. I want to do something real, something that actually matters. She smiled, and I could see a flicker of admiration in her eyes. Well, you're welcome to join, but it won't be a glamorous vacation. It's not all sunshine and beaches. I'm not looking for a vacation, I said. I'm looking to make a difference. And so we planned our first trip together. I was going to Indonesia, not just as a tourist, but as someone who could help tell the world what was happening. It felt right. It felt important. The next year was a blur of flights, projects, and waking up to sunrises over new countries. From Indonesia to Brazil to Kenya, we were on the ground, meeting activists, scientists, and locals who were working hard to protect their environment. Emily wrote her articles, and I did my part by using my social media to raise awareness. We'd get in front of cameras, share stories, and encourage people to make better choices. But it wasn't just about the work, it was about us too. As we traveled together, I found myself falling harder for her every day. We shared moments that felt like they were straight out of a romance movie, quiet dinners under the stars, laughter in the middle of the jungle, and long talks about what we wanted out of life. It wasn't perfect. We had our disagreements, our frustrations, but we always found a way to work through it. We were both learning, growing, and becoming better versions of ourselves, together. We were a team, and the world felt like it was finally turning in the right direction. In the end, I realized something. Being with Emily, traveling the world, making a difference, that was what I'd been searching for all along. It wasn't about the photo shoots or the fame or the luxury. It was about the impact we could make. It was about the love we shared, the work we did, and the way we were building something together. And as we stood on the edge of a cliff in Patagonia, looking out over a pristine glacier, I knew this was just the beginning. We were going to keep traveling, keep working, and keep changing the world, one country at a time, because together we were unstoppable.